Hey guys, so I'm back to do another video, and now I have with me my minifee Chloe Monroe, and I will be doing a tag, even though it's late at night and my lighting is horrible. I still wanted to do a tag for you guys. Just wanna do something. I don't know, I'm kind of bored. But this tag is from Edward Insane. It is the Finding Inspiration BJD tag. There are a lot of interesting questions about where do we find inspiration, so I thought I would do this tag. So let's begin. So the first question is, when making a character slash story, how do you begin with the process? Okay, so when I do make a character, I think nowadays, when it comes to making a character, I usually find an aspect of myself. Sorry about that. I find an aspect of myself, and then I could like match it up with like a piece of something that's going on around in my life, and I turn it into a character. With Monroe, Monroe is the perfectionist side of me that likes to have a lot of organization and have a very like straightforward way of thinking, and I kind of bring that to the max. So I kind of exaggerate it. So she's very diva-esque, and I can be a diva sometimes, but not all the time. But I think that's what I do. I usually take like a form, like something, and then I put myself into my characters. That's how I usually do it. Sometimes my characters get a little bit of something, and sometimes they get a lot of something that's a part of me. It just depends, but I usually just reflect on myself, and because when I think about my dolls and my stories, I like to reflect a lot of me into my dolls. It's kind of like a coping thing, I guess. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I guess that's it for that question. So the next question is, where do you find the most inspiration for your dolls? Other collectors, media, music, history, real life. I think I use a lot of basically everything that she said. I usually very focus a lot on music, especially with my dolls. Music is a big important thing. Um, but I usually do think of media too, and I'm always like on Instagram making all these like character collages of what I would like to see like from my dolls and stuff like that. So like photography, music, like music in my head, media, like characters, like celebrities. Um, I wouldn't say a lot of history. History is just not my thing. Even though I do appreciate a lot of historical BJDs out there. Real life, in terms of characters, I do some of that. Um, but I think a big part of where my dolls come from is music, and just like a lot of character development, I guess. Same with my story. Next question is, do you make characters for a sculpt, or do you have characters and find a sculpt to match them? That is a mismatched question. I think if you don't do both, then I think you're just gonna be like in and out searching for like the right doll. Because sometimes you're gonna do a little bit of this, sometimes you're gonna do a little bit of that when it turns to this question. For Monroe, Monroe was originally supposed to be a character like called Vanilla, um, but then Monroe has grown into who she is today. Um, I think I mostly go into the realm of having a character, then putting a sculpt into it. But I do sometimes have the ideas of what I would do with a sculpt and turn into a character. I don't know. I don't buy first. I think of the character first, and then I buy. I guess. Does that make sense? I don't know. Oh well, I hope you get what I'm saying. Next question is: do you have different inspirations for your different characters or your stories? I don't know what you mean by that question. Do you have different inspirations for your different characters or stories? Oh, well, I guess in terms like kind of like inspired by, like inspiring. Um, I don't know. I put a lot of like mythology into my dolls, I guess. So there is a little bit of inspiration there for my story. I would say my story is more of like a modern with a mix of fantasy. It's more modern than fantasy, I guess. There are some things that I do take inspiration from. Um, I don't know though. Like I wouldn't be able to name them. It's just all a mishmash. I know like a lot of like angles in my stories, like backstories, were probably inspired by something. I guess. Um, I don't know. I would just say a lot of like I don't know. I just feel like I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Um, Next is when creating a character, how do you visualize them? Do you drawing, collages, or another way? I do technically do draw my characters, and I also do collages on Instagram of what I would want my characters to be. Um, so it's just a mix of both. I don't really do another way. It was like drawing collages another way. I was like, I don't think I do another way. Um, I do drawing and I do make collages, I guess. Sometimes they're not really that good and I don't really like to show them. But I like to, just draw and like have my characters in drawing form. I also like when people draw my characters, like they do like art of them because it's so beautiful and I get so like I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool. Thank you so much. And where do you go to find inspiration? YouTube, television, movies, Pinterest, Flickr, Instagram. I go to Instagram mostly. Um, I do go to YouTube too. There is a lot of amazing people talking and discussing about their stories. I wish I was able to convey stories just like them. Um, but I'm usually very reserved with my stories. Not that there's like any particular reason. I mean, I just don't share because I kind of just feel like nobody really like. Not saying that nobody like listens. It's just that I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's just hard to like share because I do put a lot of myself into them, like subliminally. I guess that's the word for it. So there are like parts of me that are actually in there with my dolls. Um, I don't know. I like to share sometimes, like when I have like something that I'm really proud of that I would really like to share. Um, but this is a question about where do you get inspiration from? But yeah, I usually go on Instagram. There's so many inspiring people on Instagram. I love the Instagram community. I really love the YouTube community here too. There's so many beautiful souls just telling stories. And it's just so cool and so nice, just grab a cup of tea and just, listen to, what's going on in, like, the world of somebody's dolls. Because I do like to, like, hear, like, about world building. I'm just so bad at, like, explaining my stuff. I'm just really bad at explaining everything that I just don't really that much. But let me see. Is that all the questions? Oh, there's one more. There's, what do you do when you can't find inspiration? When I can't find inspiration, I don't think it's a thing where I just can't find inspiration. I think maybe there might be a time where I just want to, chill out for a second, because I'm just like over like putting my head's just having so many things going through it at once that I'm just like, stop, girl, stop. But I think I don't think I ever necessarily run out of inspiration. I just think that there's times where I just need to, just chill out and just work on one thing after another and just move on from there. Because I feel like if you're uninspired by something, then I don't think you should do it anymore. I don't know, that kind of sounds pretty rough. But I think that's true. Because, there'll be times where I'm not, like, as inspired as I was. But I don't think there's times where, like, I'm fully, like, I'm at inspiration for you. Because if there was, I don't think this doll would be here anymore. I think I kind of want to do that with Monroe, because I was just like, I kind of feel like I did use up a lot of, like, what I want to do with her, but there's so much potential that I haven't, like, unlocked. I do think I do have the character down packed to a T. I have a lot of the things that I love for her. Like, I do have a default outfit for her, but there's so much more that I want to do with her. But I do feel like if I do have a certain character, which is her boyfriend Roman, it will make the inspiration and be able to learn about this girl even more. But I think that's my take on inspiration and falling out of inspiration. And I hope you guys liked my response to this tag. I'm really bad at explaining things, sorry. um, I don't know, I'm just really bad when it comes to, like, just talking about stuff. I'm just really bad at it. I'm more of a person that likes to listen rather than explain. But I hope you guys liked, and I hope you guys understood what was going on through my head. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.